Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to get a little nerdy and dive into the code that powers your e-reader. Why? Well, to make your reading experience faster, smarter, and honestly, just way better.
All right, so let's get right into it. Picture this. You're all settled in, ready to dive into a good book. You tap the screen to turn the page, and then that little pause, that half second of lag. It feels like a small thing, right? But man, it just completely shatters the immersion. And if you're a Kobo owner, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So what's the deal? Well, believe it or not, the culprit is often the file format of the book itself. And this isn't just some boring technical detail. Nope. It's actually a battle between two different philosophies for how an ebook should work. And it has a direct impact on every single page you turn.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about the format you probably already use, maybe without even realizing it. Let's meet EPUB, the universal standard.
Yeah, so EPUB is kind of the hero of compatibility here. It's an open standard, which is huge. It comes from the World Wide Web Consortium, the same folks who standardize the entire web. So it's built on things like HTML and CSS, and its whole reason for being is to be that one-size-fits-all format, the MP3 of books that works on pretty much any device out there.
And the biggest advantage here? It's all about freedom. It's about future-proofing your library. Because it's an open standard, an EPUB file isn't chained to one company. You can read it on your Kobo, sure, but also on your phone, your tablet, or, hey, even some device that hasn't been invented yet. It means you actually own your digital library.
Okay, so if EPUB is so great, so open, so universal, why on earth did Kobo go and create their own version? Well, the answer is pretty simple, actually. They wanted to create a specialized, high-performance experience that was perfectly tailored to their own hardware.
I like to think of it this way. If EPUB is like a universal language that most e-readers can understand, then KEPUB is a special dialect that only Kobo devices speak fluently. It's Kobo basically taking that open standard and fine-tuning it to work perfectly with their own gear. So what's the secret sauce? It's this tiny but honestly brilliant change in the code. They call them Kobo spans. Basically, the file wraps every single sentence in its own special little tag. I know, it sounds super minor, right? But by letting the Kobo know exactly where you are in the book at all times, this one little change unlocks pretty much every single performance advantage that we're about to talk about.
All right, so we've got the standard versus the specialist upgrade. What does this actually mean for you when you're just trying to read a book on your Kobo? Let's put them side by side and check out the real-world differences.
Okay, so here's the absolute core of the issue. On your Kobo device, these two formats literally use different rendering engines. Standard EPUBs, they get stuck with an older, kind of sluggish Adobe engine. But KEPUBs, they get Kobo's modern, super optimized NetFront engine. It's kind of like owning a high-performance sports car but deciding to only put the premium fuel in it for some of your trips. And look, that performance difference, it's not just something you feel, it's something you can measure. Remember that frustrating lag we talked about at the beginning? This chart shows it perfectly. With a KEPUB, page turns are more than twice as fast, on average. That lag, it's just gone.
I mean, a speed boost of up to 60%? That is the most immediately satisfying benefit you're going to notice. Everything, from just opening the book to highlighting a passage, becomes instantly responsive. It makes the whole device feel so much more fluid, so much closer to that seamless experience of just, turning a page in a physical book.
And this is crucial. KEPUB isn't just about speed. It literally unlocks a whole suite of exclusive features. I'm talking about advanced reading stats. Those slick pop-up footnotes, being able to quickly scrub through the whole book, none of that stuff works with a standard EPUB on a Kobo. These are huge quality-of-life upgrades that you're just missing out on.
So this brings us right to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? It's a classic conflict in the tech world. The battle between a format that works pretty well everywhere and a format that works perfectly in just one place.
And this quote really captures that dilemma, that tension. What do you prioritize? Do you go with the open standard that guarantees your library will be readable forever, or do you pick the proprietary version that gives you the absolute best experience on the device you're holding in your hand right now?
So yeah, it really seems like a tough choice, right? On one hand, you have EPUB, which stands for Freedom and a Future-Proof Library.
On the other, you have KEPUB for a faster, feature-rich experience today. It feels like you have to pick one, right? Well, what if I told you that you don't?
Okay, this is where it gets really good. It turns out you don't actually have to be locked into this choice at all. There is a way to get the best of both worlds. It's kind of a power user secret that, frankly, every serious e-reader owner should know about.
So let me introduce you to your new best friend, Calibre. It's a totally free, open-source ebook management program, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it's the most powerful tool you can have as an e-reader user. Think of it like iTunes was for your music, but way, way more powerful and for your books.
And here's the magic. With a simple, free plugin, Calibre will automatically convert your EPUBs into high-performance KEPUBs as you send them to your Kobo. It happens on the fly. So you get to keep your universal, future-proof EPUB file safe in your library while your device gets the perfectly optimized version. The whole process it's just seamless.
So after all that, what's the final verdict? Which one is the winner? Well, the truth is, there isn't one. The best format is still the one that fits how you personally like to read.
It's pretty simple, really. If you're someone who reads on a bunch of different devices, your phone, your tablet, your computer, then sticking with standard EPUBs makes a lot of sense. But if you are a dedicated Kobo user, converting your books to KEPUB is without a doubt the single biggest free upgrade you can give your reading experience.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. In our digital world, which is this constant tug of war between open platforms and these beautiful, polished, walled gardens, this little choice about a file format actually reflects a much bigger question. What do you value more? The freedom to go anywhere, or the premium features that make staying in one place just a little bit better? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us.